everybody, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
And I'm your other host, Don.
And we're back together again on a Sunday night, the way God intended.
Right. Sunday fun day.
Sunday
That's
fun
how
day.
I look at it. Yeah.
Yes. All right. What are we talking about tonight? I don't have nothing prepared. Hold on, let me bring the email up. We're
Okay, great. Well, we'll see y'all later.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about Predator Badlands trailer. Ryan Reynolds Deadpool news. Obviously, Deadpool does not appear to be done at all. Some Thunderbolts news coming out from the early screenings, and Chris Evans, is he returning as Captain Hydra? That is what we got on deck for tonight. Does that sound good? Does that sound like a good episode of bullshit? I mean,
oh yeah. I could talk enough bullshit about all that stuff. Absolutely.
There we go. All right. How are you? Anything new and exciting since Wednesday evening?
No, honestly, just been doing a bunch of work. And honestly, I worked all weekend. I get a few hours tonight to chillax and then back to the grind. So I'm going to be honest with you, not much going on. I did get to play or run rather, because I don't get to play it. I have to run it. My Star Wars tabletop game, which I kind of did a bad job, because basically what ended up happening was we spent the whole 2.5 hours, almost 3, on just like one starship fight, because they had just a couple of TIE defenders, which are badass. But like I had a frigate with like 125 shield rating. No, that's very boring to all of you, but it took forever, and I should have. So I know now kind of where the outer limits of shield ratings for ships go, unless I want a fucking 3-hour space battle. So bad job out of me as a DM.
I was supposed to say sounds like poor dungeon management.
Yeah. No, I literally at one point had to be like, yeah. No, I mean, I maybe I should have play tested it or just ran through the numbers. I figured they would handle, because so far they've been railroading everything I've thrown against them. So I'm just getting to that point now as a DM, like, okay, how much can I give it gas without party wiping? So yeah, no, I mean, I kind of finagled it. I'm like, oh, your droid, your droid lets you know that on your ship there's been a mistake. Instead of a regular torpedo, you've got a shield busting torpedo. Oh, look at that. Finally they got it down. Yeah. How about you, Dave? How was your 3-4 days off?
Busy. Just some work stuff, and then without getting into too much detail, we ended up going up to Millersville yesterday to see her Karen's son, who goes to school there, and of course we didn't go up till later because he works at the school. He actually does tours for new students that come in, people that are looking at the school. So he was working till 4, because that was actually yesterday was one of those like recruitment days where they have a bunch of kids coming in. So they were all working and they had to like do a tour. So we went up later. Hello, James. And then we went and hung out and did some stuff. Her other son and his girlfriend came with us. She's an interesting person, and I'll leave it at that.
That's probably best.
It's one of those youth is wasted on the young kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so she, we went up. We actually ended up going to Hobby Lobby. I got myself some more paint supplies and stuff, and then
that's a great store.
Great store.
I not because they sell like Gunpla model kits there.
Yes.
And I always love going there to see which ones they have on discount or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I was
posters and shit too.
We went for the first time like a week ago. I had never been to one before. I was shocked by the sheer amount of stuff, because I mean, we go to Michael's all the time. I was shocked by the sheer amount of stuff that they had in general, and then the prices are insane compared to other places. I mean, Michael's has always been a little more on the expensive side, but like, no, like their stuff was like, not everything, but like a lot of stuff was really cheap. A lot of the art supplies really cheap. I got a 5-pack of 16 by 20 canvases for $20, which is like, that's really cheap. So
yeah,
you know, I was happy with that.
That's a cool store.
Yeah.
Only problem with that store is don't go there on a Sunday because they ain't open. And I swear, every time I'm by Hobby Lobby, I'm like, oh, cool, let's stop by Hobby Lobby. And my wife's like, it's Sunday. I'm like, fuck.
Well, you know, there's Christians. So then, you know, we went to dinner and then ended up taking him to Walmart because he needed stuff, you know, for the week. And long story short, by the time I got home, it was 1:30 in the morning, almost 2:00. And then, you know, she drove, so she drops me off and then goes home, and that's like a 25-minute drive from my house. So I, of course, as the good boyfriend, I wait till she gets home and lets me know she's home safe. So I didn't get to bed till after 2 a.m. and after 2:30. So I'm tired. That's my long way of saying, like, I slept on and off today. I did some stuff, but not everything. I slapped together a show for us tonight. And yeah, so I did do something else because I hadn't done it yet. I watched episode 3 of Andor, and
cool. All right.
So I am all caught up on season 2 at this point, and the dance was weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of commentary about it, though. Have you seen that?
I've seen some of it. Yeah, I've seen some of it. I just didn't like. I thought when I saw the commentary, and I'll confess I didn't read all of it because I hadn't watched the episode yet. But it felt like they were trying to make it into a thing, like the what you call it, scene from Falcon Winter Soldier with I can't think of his name, the purple hooded villain.
Zemo.
Zemo, the Zemo dance scene, right? Like I felt like they were trying to make it into that, and it wasn't that at all. It was a very weird scene in general, and the dance was just weird. And it was Look, I'm a person of a certain age, and that dance was just too like energetic for someone of her age to pull off, in my opinion. So
no, I thought the dance was definitely weird, but again, I think, oh wait, you know, this is the world of, you know, laser swords and space wizards, so okay, you know, dancing can be a little bit freaky compared to what I'm used to. But you know, so outside of that, though, it is a scene though that makes you kind of think, because of they've really made that Mon Mothma character really, really deep, and we're seeing a very pivotal moment and a very important character's history where she's at this wedding of her daughter that she basically had to give away, which is horrifying. And then the rebellion is really going from an idea, something you launder money or finance, to, oh shit, people are, you know, actually fighting and dying around the galaxy because here it is, you know, her husband, you know, and I'm paraphrasing here, but, you know, he was like, hey, you know, are you going to go fuck your boyfriend tonight? You know, that's what her, you know, husband kind of says. And then she like arranges the assassination of her relative. I can't remember the exact, but anyway, So just a lot of shit going on for that character, and it really is this big transition. It's almost like playtime is over, shit just got real. So let me turn the fuck up and dance. And from that, I kind of get it.
Yeah,
I kind of get it.
I just thought it was also with the stuff that was going on. I can't remember the name of the planet. The planet where Cassian's was going to, where like everyone was, where the Imperials are there and they're looking for the.
Yeah, I can't remember that yet either. I get you though, where all the wheat fields are and
Yeah,
the big
yeah.
silos. Yeah. And the rapey stormtrooper guy. Well, he's not a stormtrooper, but it's a rapey
Lieutenant.
Imperial.
Yes, rapey lieutenant. And like he's got the TIE Avenger and he just like wipes them out, you know. And then of course they've got to like, I mean, they're the one guy dies, and so it's like, oh, you know, but like then they got to jump in the ship and go because they know that there's more troops on the planet, and they're kind of screwed. But it's like, and I know there's going to be arguments that of a lot of different things, but to me it's like, oh, that's the moment when the rebellion is really born, because like they just kind of wiped out a garrison of, not a garrison, they wiped out a patrol with their with a powerful weapon. Like, yeah, they're going to be hunting down these people, but it's going to inspire other people to join with them. So it's just like, and then we're contrasting that with this weird dance scene at a wedding. Like, and I get it, there's other stuff going on while she's dancing, and like that's really the point of the scene with the, like you said, the relative and all of that. But it's just like, I don't know, it just felt, and I get it, there's supposed to be showing like the high society side of things and like this life that she's eventually giving up to lead the rebellion. But I don't know, it's just.
But even during that funky dance, she's playing her part. She's doing what she needs to do for the rebellion. And so you do, and the show gives us like, why is this high society senator, why is she risking this? It can't be worth it. But then we see the rapey Imperial, and we see how they're just going into these planets and fucking with the indigenous inhabitants. We don't know nothing about that on this planet. But we're just like, yeah, fuck these Imperials. I don't know, man. It gets me. I just like how, like I said, I watched Star Wars over and over again. I just love the new life that is being breathed into the rebellion and the new depth of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not paying attention to the comments here. A question to Don. This is from Kassan. Does that scene bother you in a Star Trek story? So many people seem to think it doesn't belong in Star Wars, even though this show is darker than any other Star Wars movie. No, I do think that I guess that's why I'm enjoying Andor so much, because Star Wars is kiddish, but not about kiddish subject matter. Like Star Wars is for kids, yet in the first movie, millions of people die in an instant when the Death Star destroys Alderaan. Like,
well, yeah.
So it kind of bobs and weaves its way through a really fucking dark story. So yeah, I do enjoy the darker elements being explored in a show like this. Absolutely.
That's actually okay. I'm going to tick you off, I think. Well, I'm going to tick off some people. The brilliance of A New Hope and Empire and Return of the Jedi. Yes, because you're dealing with a rebellion against a tyrannical government that's led by an evil Sith Lord, right? Like that's the story in the original trilogy. It's a dark, when you put it that way, it's a very dark story. It's, maybe it's the story of World War II, if you want to look at it that way, because it's always compared to the Third Reich and Hitler, and all that stuff. But one of the brilliant things in those movies is the charm and the lightheartedness of the heroes and the comedy without it being straight up comedy, but they still like joke with each other. There's a lightheartedness there and whatnot, which you could argue is missing in some of the stuff. It's missing a little bit in Andor. It's there a little bit, but it's not as much.
I understand how you could think that, because he does do subtle jokes, and they are a little bit more cynical in nature.
Yeah.
Than in the other Star Wars. So, I guess, this is like dark Star Wars for sure. I mean, but again, look at Rogue One. I mean, that's a pretty dark.
It is.
Take, through and through.
Right, but even Empire is a dark movie, but there's still there's still a charm to it, and sometimes I feel like, and there is a little bit of a charm to Andor, but I don't think it's the same as
it's way
the original trilogy.
No, because it's way more subtle in everything that it does. Like, look at the romance between Deirdre and Cyril.
Yeah.
Right? That's like two pieces of burnt toast passing by, one plate on the other. But yet, I don't know if you've seen the commentary on this one. People are loving this love story.
I kind of hate those two characters. I'm sorry. It's just...
No, I'm not big fan. I mean, I like Deidre. I like her kind of smacking his mom down a little. You will not diminish him. And they reveal that she grew up in an Imperial orphanage. So that's interesting to me. I had everything I needed. Wow, like this chick is ride or die with the Empire, and we know why. Like, she was raised by them. So I don't know. I think it's very subtle in its stuff. And as much as I love the boom boom pow flash flips light, I love all that shit about Star Wars. I am also a person that likes the sly thing, the unnoticed glory, I guess. And to me, I think this show does this in a great way. I think it's a great blend of the talkie and then the action. But even when the talkie goes long, it's very interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how episode 4 is. I kind of get. I mean, that's the thing with the way this episode ends. Like, you get why they dropped 3 episodes, but I hopefully they don't do that again. Just one episode at a time now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't think so, but no, they will. What they're willing to do with this show, and I guess with Disney Plus in general, is if the story arc takes 3 episodes, they'll drop 3 episodes. If it's a 2-episode story arc, I appreciate that a little bit, but you're right. It's like, oh, okay, I got to watch 3 this week. I know it's a little much.
Now, here's an interesting thought. Speaking of schedules and how things are released and how streaming is kind of like, this is TV now for, most people. I kind of noticed something with Disney, and I'm trying to figure out, and I kind of feel like Prime is the same way. Netflix isn't necessarily this bad, but they're not releasing, you notice how they released Daredevil Born Again, and they waited for that to be finished before they put Andor on. And then I'm sure they will wait for Andor to be finished before they put their next thing on. And it's like they're afraid to compete with themselves on their own platform. And it's weird to me, right? Because it's like one of two things. I think not necessarily. I don't think there is, especially with Gen X, which we are, there is a big crossover with Star Wars and Marvel stuff, right? Fan base wise. But I do know that there are people out there that are like Marvel fans that aren't big Star Wars fans, and I know there are Star Wars fans that aren't big Marvel fans. So I think they can release them at the same time, and then you can see where the crossover is and where it isn't. I don't know. I think it's a weird trend, right? Because like with terrestrial TV, if ABC only put one show out a season, or put one show out for half the season and another show out for half the, no one would watch. Like that would kill those channels. It's not like streaming is new. It's been like a decade now that streaming's been a thing. Just like you got to start producing more and putting it out, at around just together. I think, because I feel like that's the thing. Like I'm not one of those that's going to go and get all the platforms, right? So I am like at that point where it's like, okay, well, this is over. When Andor's over, then what am I going to watch? I'm waiting for like the next thing to come out. I don't know. What do you think? You think this is a sustainable model for these platforms?
Oh, I do. Because I think that they do this all the time. You mentioned terrestrial, so I go with terrestrial radio. Like, they really believe that if you're listening at 7:00 and we tease something that's going to happen at 7:20, that you're going to listen through both of those 15-minute increments and help their ratings. So with streaming and the pay model, I can see how they have formed the opinion that if they release two shows at the same time, that they are cutting their subscribership by potentially half, because they are trying to get that person's, ooh, I'll subscribe for this show. Oh, and I'll subscribe for that show. Whereas that person now, if you have two shows out at the same time, then ooh, I'll watch both those shows, unsubscribe. And that way the app loses revenue.
But that's the thing, is people are doing that anyway. Like that's the thing. I know lots of people that are they wait till the entire show is out, then they subscribe and binge it, or like they're watching the show they want to watch and then they unsubscribe. And like I said, there are people who aren't fans of both, so, or don't, maybe even if they're a Star Wars fan but aren't interested in Andor, watch Daredevil Born Again. Once it's over, they unsubscribe until the next thing comes out that they want. Whereas if they were producing a lot more content and had it overlapping, they'd constantly have people on the platform. And
no, I'm with you. If for whatever reason I wake up tomorrow and someone gives me a streaming platform, my whole marketing thing is going to be put good content out. We don't need any sort of gimmicks or BS. Because, by the way, I'm going to chalk it up. This series is not going to make us money on this streaming platform. It's not going to happen. But if we put it on the streaming platform, people consume it and then love it, then we're going to make a lot of money elsewhere.
Right.
That's really the model.
Yeah.
If you believe someone like me. But I don't think I think they're still trying to do the COVID subscription number game, and it's just not there no more.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
people got other shit to do.
Yeah. That is so true. Speaking of shit to do, I think we need to take a quick break.
That's a good one.
And have Darth Don come in here and tell us how you can find more Superhero Speak.
Darth Don here. You must subscribe to Superhero Speak if you haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also like this video. And while you're on the HoloNet, go to superheroespeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated gun dog named Brie Larson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show.
I love that line. It still gets me. The effects budget. All right. Let's talk a little bit. I might just stitch those two together and just play them so we can right back into the news. All right.
Yeah, good idea.
So this first story I blame Kassan for, and you, because I had no desire to really talk about this, but there is a new Predator movie coming, Predator Badlands, and I finally did watch the trailer. Should we show the trailer?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Just in case there's out of the 31 people watching us at this point on various platforms.
I didn't think you survived.
Hey, look, Black Panther's mask back.
November 7th. Woo! What is that?
I think it's a synthetic human.
A world of hurt.
You're hunting something that can't be killed.
Scream. Experienced in IMAX. Okay, so before we get into the hate that this is getting online, I'm going to reiterate what I said last week when Kassan mentioned it. Like, the first movie is a cool concept. This alien from a warrior race comes down to, hunt man, and he wipes out a bunch of Marines, or are they Marines? I think they're Marines or airborne.
They're just the special forces.
Special forces, and then Arnold kills the thing, and there you go. Like, it's a cool concept, and in my opinion, it's a cool one-time concept. The fact that they've made a occasional franchise out of this gets me. Like, I don't care about this race's society and all this stuff. There's no, in my opinion, there's no bigger story that I care about. They've crossed it over with Aliens at this point. I also stand by. I think there's 2 good Aliens movies. So it's done in an effort to make people want to watch this stuff. And yeah, is there a following for it? Sure. Is it a multi-billion-dollar franchise? No. But yeah, you had brought up that it's getting the Acolyte treatment online. So first, let me ask, what did you think of the trailer? Any interest in this movie on your part?
Yeah, no, Dave, me and you are on the opposite ends of the spectrum on this one. I like the Predator concept. I like the first movie. I actually like the second movie a lot. I think it was actually a great progression of the series. And listen, you mentioned Acolyte. I'm in this weird boat where I apparently like things that are terrible. So Alien versus Predator. I liked, you know, I know a decent amount about the Predators and their society on Yatya Prime and all that jazz. So yeah, no, I like this. But I really do feel that it is getting the acolyte treatment. And what I mean by that is I feel like people looked at the acolyte who thought they knew a certain amount or a lot about Star Wars and then used their meager knowledge of Star Wars to declare shit like, it's dead. That's why they hated on the lesbian force witches and shit like that, because it was just too much new shit that they weren't aware about, and it just kind of broke. So with this, people are like, and this is weird, like it's really weird, like from the first movie, the Predator race was described, as one ugly motherfucker. So why are people so obsessed and such critics on how this thing looks?
Because it doesn't look like the Predators from the other movies. Like they made it look different. I don't know why. Like it's weird.
Because there's more to this universe outside of the movie.
Okay, but in my opinion, it looks terrible. It does not look like a Predator. It looks like someone's bad CGI trying to make a Predator, and it's just like it doesn't look good.
I mean, if you say it doesn't look good, I mean, art is subjective. And I understand the Predators usually have this big cranial thing, and this one is very much made to look very human with the hair pulled back.
Like what's up with that?
But it's not outside the bounds though. Like Prey, and obviously by the way you described your interest in Predator, you didn't see Prey.
No,
that Predator looks crazy different from the first Predator, and people love that movie. So, listen, the elephant in the room is those online have basically poked like the Predator is black, and that's completely stupid and ignorant, and just a really dumb reason to hate on something. All in all, I'm very open-minded about this movie. I think that design is fine. I'm not a big CGI critic, so I guess you can have that. But I don't know. I was very excited about the trailer.
I don't think there's any person of darker skin going, when am I going to see myself represented as a Predator?
No, that's why
wow, that's really bad on multiple levels.
Yeah, it is. It's horrible. But yeah, right. No, that's why it doesn't matter. So I'm just, people bringing that side of it, I'm just is a different brand of ignorant. But just for those that are like saying, hey, this is not what it should look like and blah blah blah, you just don't know enough to declare that, because they can. They do look different.
I do think it's bad CGI because the eyes look dead, and it's just like it looks fake to me. It really does. Like, do some practical. That's always my thing. Like, practical.
Oh, you want Jean-Claude Van Damme back in the suit? Like, you probably don't even know that since you're not a fan. The original Predator movie, the original design was Jean-Claude Van Damme in this like lanky, stupid alien suit. Before they realized that shit ain't working, and then we got the design that you know and love. So that was the origin of that joke.
Okay. But I mean, all I'm saying is like I just think it looks bad. I'm not going to sit there and say that he looks black, but I do think it's not a great design. What's James saying here? Like Don, I enjoy a lot of things people don't think are awesome, and I agree with him. I enjoy the Predator quite a bit. I also couldn't care less about about chewing his hair.
I think we're unfamiliar with that nomenclature, but yeah, yes. I mean, yeah,
it's a bigger deal. He's hunting without his helmet.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I mean, all the technology they have at their disposal, and they're
here's the thing too. We don't know the storyline, right? Like, so if this is an and you're obviously a bigger fan than I am. I don't know if there's is this a trial thing before he gets his helmet? Like he has to fight something. Is this before that technology existed? Like they've already gone back in time with the Predator franchise. That's what Prey is, right? It takes place in ancient America, not in modern day. So
right,
they've already gone back. So is it that kind of a movie? Who knows? There's a weird human in the movie somebody that looks human.
Yeah, but in the Predator mythos, though, like they've had that technology like forever. So I know it. I'm with Kassan here, or James. I'm sorry. If he's lacking the technology, it's again, or they could do a story thing where I know you're right, Dave, but likely the technology is there. He's just choosing not to do it because they have their rituals, so he can get blooded and whatnot. Like it's a whole cool warrior thing
right
with them.
But that's my question too. The human, as we'll say in the trailer, goes, "You're hunting something that cannot be killed." Is she talking to someone who's hunting the predator, or is she talking to the predator and whatever he's hunting? And if so, why is a human talking to a predator? Like that's,
I think it's a synthetic human. By the way, we saw its eyes go in the back of its head.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Yeah, she could be talking to the predator, talking about Wolverine. I think I read that for this show where it was a Predator versus Wolverine comic, and Wolverine won just because the Predator fucking self-destructed and obliterated both of them, but he fucking grew back because his healing factor.
Oh
So
my god!
Wolverine won.
Yes.
Anyway,
I did. I never read the book, but I know the book that you're talking about. Yes. I mean, he was blown up in a nuclear explosion and grew back. So
right.
I mean, come on, you can't kill Wolverine apparently, or Deadpool, though they're immortal.
Mm-hmm.
Silliness. So
there you have it. I think people are just hating on it unjustly, aka acolyte treatment. Just to sum up my.
All right. Well, I don't have any desire to see it, unfortunately. So we probably won't see it for the podcast, but we'll see. Speaking of things we will eventually possibly go see, Ryan Reynolds was recently at some kind of summit thing, and they were asking him a bunch of questions, obviously, because he is Ryan Reynolds and he is Deadpool. And they asked him, first off, because but I got to back up a little bit. So Kevin Feige had come out and said, the list of actors that we got for Doomsday is not complete. That is just who is currently filming. There are going to be more heroes and or villains in that movie. So that was something
that, so
yeah. So that was something. And they asked then they asked Ryan Reynolds if he was involved. And what was his? Oh shoot! I got to bring the article up because his answer is non-committal. It's not a yes and it's not a no. He basically said, let me find it real quick.
You would expect it to be non.
Is he going to appear? Okay. Toward the end, he was asked whether Deadpool could appear in one of the upcoming Marvel movies as a supporting character. And he goes, I do think so. So, yeah. So like, obviously that has stirred a bunch of people going, ooh, he's coming back. He's going to be back.
Listen, they need to stick the landing with this whole Secret Wars Doomsday stuff.
Right.
And there's no better way to ensure, that $1 billion check at this point. There's no better way than to make sure you got Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, and Hugh Jackman, Wolverine somehow involved. So I think it's happening. It's happening. I don't know if it's going to be a major part of the movie, but we're at least getting something. Absolutely.
One of the other things that came up was he did reveal he is working on a script, which is an ensemble script, and he will be working with Sean Levy on this movie. The story he's working on, and possibly Jackman, and but he didn't reveal anything else about this movie, which obviously everyone has now speculated that will be Deadpool and Wolverine 2 or something along those lines.
I want X-Force.
I was going to say, I'm going to say something that's going to come off a little controversial. I don't want a Deadpool and Wolverine 2. I'd like another movie with the two of them in there, but I don't want to. I don't want it to be Deadpool and Wolverine 2. They've established their relationship. They had all their fights. I don't want more of that. I want, now let's have them jumping across the multiverse and gathering up other X-Men or something.
Well, and I want the team of X-Men that was at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine 2. I want them to be X-Force. That's what I want the ensemble to be. I want that. So we got, Deadpool, Wolverine, Colossus,
Gambit.
Well, no, Gambit was still back in
okay.
The fuck,
yeah.
I'm talking about the last scene where
the
Wolverines with Ryan. You're right, with the apartment when he's with Ryan, with Deadpool's crew, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Yukio. They could bring Domino back, even though she wasn't in the movie, but that would be great. That would be an awesome X-Force team. Oh, and Cable, because they've already said he's coming back. That would be that. Yeah, that would be. Honestly, I would be very excited just thinking about it. Like, give me Cable, Deadpool, Wolverine, Colossus and Company, X-Force, because we've already seen Hugh Jackman in the yellow and blue Wolverine suit with the mask, and we saw him in the yellow and brown Wolverine. So now we need to see him in the gray and black red-eyed X-Force Wolverine suit.
We only got him in the brown for like a second, though.
A little bit, right? A little bit. Well, that's because when you think of Wolverine, like I just don't think mainstream thinks of that suit. Although they do go back to it from they do switch from like the brown, the brown and the yellow. Then they go to the yellow and blue and black, and then in the comics he does kind of switch between the two. But I think with the X-Men animated series, X-Men 97, he's pretty, and now Deadpool and Wolverine, he's pretty solidified in that.
I think
blue.
See, that's the funny thing. Like, and my brother was always the big X-Men fan. My real first exposure to Wolverine was the Wolverine miniseries, the 4-issue miniseries where he's in Japan, and he's in the yellow and brown and a lot of that. So, so like, it's funny because that's kind of how I think of Wolverine is that costume. So, but yeah,
that's how I was first introduced to him. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I get that, but no, I mean, but you're right. Like the yellow and blue is the classic. Like it's what everyone knows.
But like, yeah, even this X-Men #1, he's in the brown and yellow. But yeah, they put him in the animated series, and that was it.
James agrees with you.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I know they kind of had a version of X-Force in Deadpool 2, but I want a real deal.
Ryan Reynolds is a master marketer. He knows that answer will generate hype for all upcoming Marvel movies. This will earn him leverage in any project he wants to run, says Kassan. Yeah. I mean, I want to hire him to market us, but
we tried. We did the Mint Mobile. And he didn't,
he didn't bite.
All about Mint Mobile, and he didn't pick up on us, man.
We might have to, get an AI Ryan Reynolds to promote the podcast. What is James here? Give me an X-Men where it's all hopefully. Give me an X-Men movie where it's all hopefully and trying to fix the world. Then give me a Malcolm X Force effing things up. Malcolm X Force. Oh, geez. That's, that's terrible. That's terrible. Jeez. That's what am I going to say here? That's oh shoot, I can't find it. Oh, that deserves this. There we go. All right. So yeah, Ryan is always and will always be the man. We love him. Hopefully he will what you call it?
He's a long ways from his Van Wilder days, huh?
Oh yeah, or two guys are growing a pizza place. Anyone remember that?
Yeah.
Does anyone remember Two Guys Are Growing a Pizza Place? The show that launched Ryan Reynolds' career.
I only remember it when you mention it, because otherwise I forgot all about that shit.
All right, moving on from possible Deadpool Wolverine 2 to Thunderbolts. So there have been some preview showings of the movie. It's getting praise as being the darkest MCU movie ever. I don't know what that means. Everyone seems to forget that we had a movie where half the universe was wiped out. That seemed pretty dark to me.
Yeah,
we had young Peter Parker going, I don't want to go, Mr. Stark, and then he turns into dust. I mean, that's pretty damn dark, people, especially for Marvel. So, how dark did they go with this? That's a question I have. So yeah, so I guess that's a good sign. The other thing that came out that got leaked by these previews is they gave us the official number of how many after credit scenes it has, which is 2. That's all I know. I didn't read any further than that, but it does have 2 after credit scenes. I'm going to guess one of them sets up Doomsday. Obviously, that's Marvel's MO, and I'm sure the second one is just like a funny little gag at the end, because again, Marvel's MO, something related to something that happens in the movie.
You don't think we'll get a Fantastic Four lead in?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
I think
the next one.
Right, that'll be what. Well, no, I think it'll be leading into Doomsday, because Fantastic Four is in right now a pocket universe. So I don't know how do you do an after credits scene from the 616 universe that sets up Fantastic Four. I think you're more likely to set up, unless they do one of those where
they did it in Marvels, right? That Miss Marvel, where Monica Rambeau is in the the Kelsey Grammer Beast universe. Because let me get this straight here. So as far as like, okay, where we go from here, we got Thunderbolts that we're talking about. Which the pieces that the Void makes people go into are technically darker color than the pieces that people blew up into.
I don't think that's what they mean, but go ahead.
So we got Thunderbolts, right? Then we're gonna have Fantastic Four. Then the next Spider-Man before, and then Doomsday, right? Do we have?
No, I thought the next Spider-Man's between Doomsday and Secret Wars.
I think you're right, because I think you're right, because it wouldn't, because Doomsday's only 2 years away.
Yeah,
so that would make sense. Then it would just be Thunderbolts.
Let's see,
Fantastic Four.
Let's find,
and then going into to Doomsday. But
let's see if I can find the upcoming Marvel timeline. See, I don't want the entire Marvel timeline. I want upcoming films. Oh, upcoming. Here we go. Yeah, because we've got. No, this is an old one. Dang it. Yeah, this is Quantumania is like the end of it.
Oh boy, yeah, forget all that. But them having 2, a mid credits and an end credits, definitely things are starting to pick up steam here. The good old MCU.
Okay, so we've got this is a proposed one from 2024. I don't know if this is true or not, because I haven't heard anything about. So after Fantastic Four was Doctor Strange 3.
Oh, that ain't happening. Yeah.
Then Doomsday, then Spider-Man 4. So you don't think there's going to be a Doctor Strange 3? They ended it on a cliffhanger. I mean, he goes into an incursion.
Not in between. Yeah, no, not in between this and Doomsday, at least.
No, you're right, because we haven't heard anything about that movie at all. Like anything about filming.
And if they are going to go anywhere near the comic books for the Secret War shit, he's already going to have a huge part anyway. So but yeah, at least not before Doomsday though. Yeah, they might have to spend all their Cumberbatch money, on Secret Wars.
The Eyes of Wakanda. That's August of 2025. We do know about that. There's Thunderbolts. There's the Ironheart series.
Yeah.
Then Fantastic
Four.
Watch
it. But...
Then Eyes of Wakanda. And then that Marvel Zombies, which it's going to be an animated, I believe, and no one's super excited for that. And then Wonder Man. That's what's officially announced so far. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And those are things that we do know they're working on. We've seen glimpses of. I don't know. I feel like there's a surprise or two coming, but we don't know what that is yet. But here's the thing. If you've got all of your key players working on Doomsday, how do you fit anything else in other than Spider-Man 4, which we know is coming? We know that's a thing. It's Sony, so it's done separate production schedule and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to live. But here's the thing: they said they were gonna slow down, right? Like we're sitting there, like, oh, we should know what the next 6 movies are, but I don't.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't. I've always been against that practice. I've always rolled my eyes when they roll out those big banners with 20 movies on it, like or 20, projects. Like, oh no.
And that the problem with that, it's been pointed out by directors who've worked with Marvel, is they come up with this story, they work on the movie, and then Marvel steps in, Feige steps in and says, hamstring this into your movie so that it sets up this movie that's coming down the road. And it's like, and it's fun to just do an after credit scene that sets it up, but to force it into a movie, like you're more worried about the connective tissue than telling a good story. And that's,
unless you can make it work. I mean, I'm not against, I guess I wouldn't be against that. Like, but you're right.
Yeah, but I think the worst example of it, and it's been brought up many times, is in Age of Ultron, when Thor all of a sudden decides to go take a bath.
Oh yeah,
and gets visions of Ragnarok, which don't match up with anything that happened in the movie either.
Yeah, no, that was just for the ladies on that one.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, so we'll see. Well, I mean, let's get past Thunderbolts. I'm glad it's getting good reviews. I think if people want, we'll see how dark it is. It's still a Marvel movie. I don't know if it's going to be, it's not going to be Zack Snyder Justice League dark, but I'm sure it will be darker than what we're used to. And then we'll got Fantastic Four. That's what I got to look forward to. And then we're going to get Doomsday. And there's the rumor that won't die that Captain America, well, Chris Evans, who played Captain America, will be returning as Captain Hydra.
Oh, instead of being America's ass, it'll be Hydra's ass. Oh, it'll be
Hydra's ass. So they're saying that it'll probably be in Doomsday that we would get this. Blah blah. Here's the thing. Here's my take on it, and you can tell me if I'm right, wrong, and different. If they do it, it's going to be a quick cameo. It's going to be some kind of flash into another universe where it's a darker world and we're going to see Captain Hydra running around. Like, he's not going to be a big player in this movie. You know, he'll have much of a less of a role than he did in as Johnny Storm in Deadpool Wolverine. That's my opinion. I don't think people want Captain Hydra. I think that's just the wet dream of some of maybe Zack Snyder fans to see evil Captain America. I have no desire to see it. But again, Cap's one of my favorite heroes. I mean, he's right back there next to Spidey. So I don't know. What do you think? You want Captain Hydra?
No, I do not want Captain Hydra. I didn't think it was a good idea when it was happening in the comics, which they actually let that go for a while. Trying to make people think that the Steve Rogers that we've all been reading about, all over these decades, defected to Hydra, but that wasn't the case. The thing that makes me think that this is going to happen is the whole Robert Downey Jr. Doom thing. That makes me think.
That's the other reason I don't think it's going to happen. Do you want to see basically the two main heroes from the beginning half of the MCU come back as villains? That's such a stun at that point, and it's just like,
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I'm with you on that. Absolutely, I do think that's dumb. But again, if they're going there, they're going there. So that's why that's what just makes me think it's possible. What makes me think it's not going to happen, though, as you mentioned, his extensive role in Deadpool and Wolverine too. Deadpool and Wolverine. I know I got it in my brain now. Holy shit. But yeah, his extensive role in Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, would they really do that? Would they really cast him as Johnny Storm and then as Hydra Cap? I mean, because that would really be kind of just weird. I don't know.
It also feels like a smack in the face of fans, in my opinion. But also
because why not just play regular Cap?
Yeah, and also the RDJ as Dr. Doom feels like a slap in the face of fans. But we'll see.
Yeah.
If it works. Real quick, Kassan asked, is it getting good reviews or just acknowledgement that it's dark? It's actually getting people saying the dark tone is really good, and it's makes the movie good. There's been people posting stuff online who have seen it without spoilers, other than the after credit scene. They were saying like it's a really good movie. So,
man, I'm seeing a trend here. I'm seeing a trend where going dark is gaining popularity. It's like the Snyderverse was like 10 years too early. I don't know. Are you noticing that all the darker shit now is
it a byproduct of the world we live in?
There you go. Ring a ding 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 ding. Because the Suicide Squad, people were loving that shit. I think the Robert Pattinson Batman shit was pretty dark, along with the Penguin. People like that. Like, I'm seeing a trend here. I'm seeing a trend.
And was he Batman or was he Vengeance? Son says any actor who had been a hero and then takes the role of a villain, it's a gimmick and temporary. That's why I hate this crap. Yeah, thank you. Again, I think the RDJ coming back only works is if he's a variant of Tony Stark, and you get that reveal where he takes the mask off and the Avengers are like, oh my god, Tony, and they're and then he goes, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. A very long time. Or whatever the line is. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Captain Hydra. Ugh. We'll see. I am sure that if there are set pics, they'll get leaked, and we'll know one way or the other if that's true. If we see him in a Chris Evans running around in a green costume.
Yeah.
James says just because it's a bad idea doesn't mean an executive with a hard-on for a piece of data and a bunch won't do it. Yeah, exactly. Because a hunch, I think he means. Because if they think it's going to make them money, they'll do it. All right. Well, that's it. That's all the news I brought. We're at an hour, so it is that time. It is that time to ask that question.
What did we learn on the show tonight?
I love it. What did we learn on the show or recommendations? What do you got for us this week, Don?
Boy, I learned that me and you are on the just opposite sides of the coin when it comes to Predator and Aliens. I love that shit. I've always loved that shit, and I'm excited about any new shit.
Wait. So, even Alien 3 Resurrection? Come on.
That's two different movies.
Oh, no, that's what I meant. Yes. Well, okay. So forget 3. Even Alien Resurrection?
Yeah, man, because it's a bunch of fucking aliens and going after dudes with guns. That's all I fucking need. I'm a simpleton.
They cloned Sigourney Weaver. It was stupid.
Okay, right. I like Rise of Skywalker. Somehow Palpatine returned, and I'm all here for it, Dave. So I'm nothing but consistent.
Consistent. There you go. All right. How about recommendations? Anything other than keep watching Andor?
No, that's it. Keep watching Andor. Yeah, that's it. I'd like to tell you to come to Discord more, but I'm just busy as fuck right now. I haven't even been on there. So
yeah.
That's it.
I got to probably spend some time on there tomorrow. So
I mean, I recommend you watch Thunderbolts because we're going to be reviewing that next week. So I guess I should have left that for you.
Well, I was going to say that for Wednesday, but so maybe it doesn't come out for Friday.
Right, we do 2 shows.
Oh, now. Wait, no, hold on. We need to talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I did learn that you like a lot of crap. I'm sorry, Alien Resurrection is just not a good movie. Prometheus.
That's probably one of my lesser favorite ones. You know what? I have not seen that newer stuff, Prometheus or whatever.
Okay.
I don't hear good things about it, but yeah, I should actually sit down and watch that shit. Maybe I shouldn't.
I don't know. I think Alien and Aliens are good, and then I'm not so sure about anything.
You're wrong. Aliens is the ultimate. I mean, listen, I'm here with you there. The series goes downhill from there, but I still like it.
Recommendation. So here's the thing. Maybe I should just say Thunderbolts, but Wednesday, let's do this on air. Let's make this determination. Wednesday, I will not be here because it is my son's birthday, so we will be celebrating his birthday. So the question then becomes, are you going to do the show solo? Or maybe I'll
find a friend.
Maybe you could bring Tim in.
Maybe. So, but I'm definitely going to be doing something.
Okay.
Even just me and Kastan drooling over the latest Andor episode, one way or the other. So yeah, well, then, you can book me.
I recommend that you tune in on Wednesday to see what Don comes up with. And then go watch Thunderbolts, because we will be talking about that next Sunday right here on this channel. This is the greatest podcast on the internet. It's what everyone's saying. At least that's what I've been told. All right. On that note, boys and girls, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or two. It's a really nice thing to do. And what are you waiting for? Visit